Today on the LA Food Podcast, I'd like to warn you that the podcast you're about to listen to contains more mentions of reindeer penis than is advisable for listeners of, well, any age. What I'm referring to, dear listener, is the news that rocked LA Food this week, Rene Redzepi's announcement that his Noma LA pop-up coming to Silver Lake in March of this year will cost an eye-watering $1,500 per person. Karen Palmer is with us to dissect Redzepi's announcement, as well as the predictable backlash from all corners of the internet. We ask ourselves, is the outrage justified, or does Rene have a legitimate leg to stand on in charging people more than I used to pay for rent at my Koreatown apartment in 2015? On Chef's Kiss Big Miss, there's the unsanctioned return of Gourmet Magazine, a West Side neighborhood restaurant losing a liquor license due to NIMBY neighbors, an argument in favor of keeping food critics anonymous, and a hot take on whether it's okay for couples to order the same entree at restaurants. In Recent Eats, we recap recent meals at Little Fish, Electric Blue, Vandell, Bar Etoile, the Mulberry, and an under-the-radar taqueria guaranteed to knock your socks off. In part 2, we've got one of my favorite interviews we've done in recent memory. It's with one of my favorite new podcasters to hit the food scene in a very long time. It's Jason Lee of Expense Account. His podcast, which is published by the newsletter Feed Me, is doing amazing. They're pulling in some incredible guests, everybody from Pete Wells to porn star Asa Akira. Yes, you heard that right. Jason is a fascinating entertainment guy, and I can't wait for you to listen to my conversation with him. A reminder that the LA Food Podcast is part of the Acquired Taste Media Network. Please listen to our sister podcast, Takeando with Bill Esparza. This week, Bill dropped part 1 of a 3-part series comprising the ultimate guide to Mexico City. He started with the most important, and that is tacos. So you're not going to want to miss that. It's available wherever podcasts are streaming. Please be sure to give both Takeando and this show a 5-star review and a follow wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, a quick housekeeping note, I'm still figuring out the acoustics in my new office, so please forgive me if my sound on my interview with Karen is a little more echoey than usual today. I promise sooner or later I will figure it out. As always, I'm your host Lucas Servodio, and without further ado, it's time to chow down. Welcoming back to the LA Food Podcast, a woman who last night brought her pizza pop-up back from the dead for one night only. It's Karen Palmer. Karen, how you doing today?
Hello. I brought the pain.
You brought
the pain pizza.
The pain pizza, and I'm so sad I missed it. I was there at the LA Pizza Alliance, but I left before you wheeled out your French bread specialties.
I know. You'll have to wait till next year unless there's another magical pan pizza pop-up sometime this year. But yeah, it was super fun.
Could it happen?
I mean, I'm always threatening to bring it back. And truly threatening because nobody asks for it. But I mean, you never know.
That.
You never know.
Crazier things have happened, right?
Exactly.
Well, speaking of, LA Pizza Alliance, that happened last night.
Yes.
For our listeners who have never heard of it, can you tell them what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. So last year, right after the wildfires in January, David Turkel, friend of the pod, who is a pizza influencer / multi-hyphenate, and Tommy Brockert of La Sorda's Pizzeria, which everybody loves, basically organized a bunch of different local pizzerias to come together for one night and just make pizzas to deliver to first responders, fire departments, anybody who had been displaced, and honestly, just anybody who was a little down and out and needed a pizza. It was an incredible event last year. They decided to bring it back this year. Had even more pizzerias. I think it was over 40 or 50. I mean, there were a lot of people there last night. They had multiple ovens set up. And I know they ended up sending out hundreds of pizzas, but I don't know what the exact number is. We'd have to ask Turkel. But it was an incredible event, and just the community coming together was really, really impressive to see, and just the effort that everybody was putting in was really awesome.
It was the who's of LA Pizza. Chris Bianco was just there holding court.
Bianco and Rob DiNapoli.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, we had Bianco DiNapoli there in the flesh.
They weren't in a can.
Yeah, exactly. They're real life people. Yeah, no, it did feel like all of the local pizza luminaries were there for sure.
No, it's really the cool thing about it to me was the fact that, yes, last year it made total sense for them to do this because it was like everything was quite literally on fire.
Right.
And so they, hopped to help people and deliver pizza to first responders. I think it's really cool that they didn't just stop after 1 year and they're like, you know what? People still need help.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a rough year.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop, right? With like ice rays, everything, right? Like literally around the corner is probably something horrific that we don't know about yet. And they were just like, here's the sign-up sheet. If you want it, no questions asked. We'll make it for you. We'll deliver. It's really touching to see these restaurants, which they themselves have had really tough years.
Exactly.
Give back.
And they're just donating product, donating their time. You were a delivery driver last night. That was also impressive to see how many people stepped up just to, deliver pizzas around the city. It was really, really cool.
Yeah. Pizza community is one of the coolest communities in Los Angeles. And I don't mean just like cool because like they wear cool clothes and like have cool people. Like it's just like, it's so tight knit. You know what I mean? And you'd expect it just because they're all kind of in competition with each other in some way, shape, or form. Like, people only go out for so many pizzas a year, right?
Right.
Yet there's such a togetherness to it, and there's so much support. Like, it's really kind of astounding, and it reminds you that, just because you're an independent restaurant, you're not alone.
Exactly. No, it definitely doesn't feel competitive. It feels like everybody's kind of like, it's like the rising tide lifts all ships mentality of like, we're all in this together, and, there's room for everybody. And every style of pizza here in LA.
If only the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City could have that same mentality, right, Karen?
Ooh, it's true. Tell me about it. Have you watched part 1 of the reunion?
I have not yet. That's on our to-do list for tonight. Right. But will it deliver?
Oh yeah, it'll deliver for sure. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but always entertaining.
The thing you have to watch if you haven't already, it's the Mary Cosby documentary.
There's a doc?
There is a documentary on HBO. It is not good for our girl Mary. Let's put it that way.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna check it out. So next time we can talk about it.
Okay. We'll do an entire episode on it.
Exactly. Just on Mary.
Yeah. We should probably talk about food at some point.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
It is in the name of the podcast. So what have you been eating recently, Karen?
Okay. A couple recent spots. I went to Little Fish in Melrose Hill recently. I actually did a big feature on Melrose Hill and how it was developed for SF Gate. Actually, was it a week ago? Yeah, about a week ago. And Little Fish, 2 former Son of a Gun chefs who started their fried fish sandwich pop-up during the pandemic. They then opened their, Echo Park window, and Little Fish is their first formal sit-down restaurant on their own. And it's great. It's very lively. The space is super charming. Actually, all the fish was delicious because it's very much a local seafood restaurant. But honestly, one of my favorite things that I had there was their roast chicken.
Whoa!
Because they serve it with a ham jus.
Okay.
And put some ham. I think they might put ham fat or something under the skin. It was honestly one of the best chickens I've had in a long time. So
wow, the gauntlet has been thrown.
Go for the fish, stay for the chicken. No, again, we loved our dinner. It's just that was kind of one of the funny moments, just to be like, oh yeah, I love the chicken at the fish restaurant.
I love when that happens, when you're at a spot where everybody has been ranting and raving about a dish. Actually, going to get there in a second with one of the places I went to. Mm-hmm. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't actually have the fried fish sandwich on this menu, right?
They have it at lunch.
Okay.
But they do not serve it at dinner. And they were telling me that actually some people have been so upset that they've left.
Wow.
They've been you don't have the fish sandwich at dinner, I'm not staying. So,
dude, I get it.
Well, we'll see if that, if that changes at some point. But
I can understand that.
It is a delicious fish sandwich. It's so good.
From a marketing perspective, it's kind of extremely ballsy to use the exact same name, the exact same logo,
right,
and then not have your signature item on the menu,
Totally. I think it's interesting though too, because it's yes, they have mastered that sandwich, but also they both come from, Son of a Gun was a more upscale, high-end seafood restaurant. So it's I'm putting words in their mouths, but it's there's more that they can do other than a fried fish sandwich.
Right.
So I'm sure that might be part of it on their end. But yeah,
we're more than the mech fish, bitches.
Yes, exactly. No, but if you want that fish sandwich, just go for lunch.
Hey, controversial opinion. I when I've had the fish sandwich, I can appreciate this is an excellent version of this fish sandwich, but it just doesn't hit for me. I just like.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's too much. Like the like big old hunk of like fried fish. Like I leave feeling like, you know, I've consumed an entire like county fair worth of fried food.
That's fair.
It's just maybe it's just a preference thing, because on its face I can recognize this is an excellent sandwich.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm really excited to go to the restaurant, because clearly they've got incredible chops. So I'm really excited to see what they do there. Where else have you been eating?
Yeah, you should check it out. The other night, I finally made it to Electric Blue, which is literally like 2 blocks away from where I live. It's been open since August. It's been packed all the time since it opened, which I think like speaks to, you know, Mar Vista's need for more good places to eat. But honestly, I really loved it. I love the vibe. It's kind of like a neo bistro type, you know, menu. I mean, it's definitely, it leans French, but it's not like super, super Frenchy, and that it's not heavy. Like they have a really delicious steak au poivre. They sprinkle the fries with what they're calling chicken salsa. I mean, it was just like stuff you could see yourself eating all the time, but also like a little bit elevated, you know, like the chef comes from a very, very fine dining background, you know, worked in like 3 Michelin star restaurants in France, worked at Le Cirque in New York. I mean, he comes from like that style of cooking, but this is kind of his more quote unquote casual French bistro. So I'm excited that it's here, and I just had a fantastic time.
Would you say it's part of the epidemic of neighborhood restaurants that's coming to our city?
Well, it's interesting because, spoiler alert, I'm writing about them. And, you know, they were kind of saying that they don't necessarily want to be thought of as a neighborhood restaurant. Like they are obviously incredibly grateful for all the local support that they've gotten, especially from, you know, Mar Vista residents and like people in surrounding neighborhoods. But like, you know, in terms of like the level of technique and the ambition of the menu, I think it's a little bit more elevated. So I understood what they were saying with that. Like, it's not, you know, you're not getting like a Caesar salad and like a burger. It's definitely like a little more, you know, thoughtful and refined than that.
You know, that said, though, I think that's the spiel you're getting from all of these restaurants, whether it's
true. Yeah.
Herman's or even Bar Etoile, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, which maybe is a little bit different, but it's basically, I feel like they want to give you the appearance of what would be a neighborhood restaurant, but they want to reassure you that there's something, you know,
that they're different and special.
Yeah, that there's something more afoot, you know, so you can feel good about going there, that you're not just some basic person going to a Hillstone-esque restaurant. No offense.
Luca, don't you dare.
The reason I said that for a very specific reason. The reason being that our guest today, after you sign off, Karen, is Jason Lee of the Expense Account podcast. Okay. And he kind of is infamous for, in his Interview magazine column, having written a column about why he broke up with Hillstone. Okay. And I asked him about it. So you may want to listen to that one.
Well, bye. More Hillstone for me.
Fair enough. Okay, any other recent eats?
Yes. Recently, on a Saturday night, I went to Vandell in Los Feliz.
I've been dying to go there.
It was a scene, okay? Like, it felt very buzzy, very New York. There's this place in, like, the Lower East Side called, what is it? Anchovy Bar? No.
That would be a sick name for a bar.
Bar Sardine. I don't remember.
These are all absolutely lit names for bars.
It reminds me of a restaurant that I can't remember the name of. But no, it's mostly a bar, and they do have some small bites, but like all of the cocktails that we tried were absolutely delicious. There was like a smoked tomato cocktail that was like, it kind of had I actually didn't order it because I'm not really a mezcal person, but I tried a sip of it, and it almost tasted like barbecue sauce, but like in a good way.
Oh, wow. That makes sense.
You know, so like, yeah, it's like that smokiness, but it wasn't like over the top smokiness. And yeah, there was a line outside to get in. It was raining that night, and people were still like waiting to get in. It was just in terms of like being in like an exciting, buzzy spot. It was a great time. I was glad that we had a reservation, though. I'll say that much.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can make reservations?
Or, I don't know.
I see.
It wasn't
I
me.
see.
There was somebody else in our group who has a, who knows one of the owners. So that might have been why we got in. Maybe I shouldn't admit that on this podcast. Sorry, everyone.
No, hey, spoiler alert, Karen gets access to places.
But no, I thought I had a great time and I really recommend it. So
I am a mezcal person, so I definitely will be trying that one. It reminds me of a cocktail that I had at, I want to say, Mirate, which is also in Los Feliz, which was like a very savory martini. I think it was an anchovy martini, but this trend of savory cocktails, I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm into it. Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, well, yes. So last night after the Pizza Alliance.
You did not. You did not.
I went and ate pizza.
Oh my God.
I actually didn't really eat pizza. I didn't really eat much of anything at the Pizza Alliance. So I'd never had the bar pie at Quarter Sheet, so I tried it for the first time last night.
Oh.
Fantastic. Loved it. This new their seasonal version that they're doing has like sausage and pickled peppers and like Castelvetrano olives. I was like all of the things that I love on a crispy little thin crust pie. It was delightful.
I've still got to go. I mean, I've been to Quarter Sheets, but I haven't been for the tavern style. I have to have it. That is like so high on my list for the pizza countdown. It's not even funny, but yeah.
Yeah, it was. I highly recommend it.
What would you score it out of 100?
Ooh, out of 100?
Yeah, like I score things like I'm a teacher, like I'm an elementary school teacher.
Oh well, but you do like you have like different categories though, so that makes it a little bit easier.
But what would you say, like B plus?
I'd give it like a 90.
Okay, A minus.
Like a 90.
Okay.
Yeah, A minus.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
Would my parents would have kicked me out of the house for it? But you know what? Still, pretty good in some people's homes.
Oh my gosh, learning so much about you.
Yeah. More than you bargained for sure. Where have I been eating recently? So nice of you to ask, Karen. I actually, it was Father Saul's birthday last week, I think, a couple weeks ago. Anyways, we had a belated birthday dinner for him at Bar Etoile on Melrose Hill, which, very pertinent to your article. And I obviously had heard of Bar Etoile. I saw that Bill Addison ranked it quite highly on his list. It was like number 59 or something, which I, kind of came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. And I actually it's one of those meals I enjoyed more after I had it than while I was having it, if that makes sense. Like, while I was having it.
Right. Like, it kept you thinking about it a little bit?
Yeah. And the more I thought about it, I was like, fuck, I want to have that dish again. I was like, that one really spoke to me. And then when I didn't read Bill Addison's blurb before I went. After I went, I read Bill Addison's blurb to see, why did he put this so high on the list? And I realized I didn't even order any of the dishes that he considers standout dishes. So I'm even more excited to go back. But it's I think the chef's name is Travis Hayden. He's formerly of Voodoo Van, right?
Yep.
It's just really cool. He's like basically trying to make a very like adventurous menu, I think, that still is perfect for an ambitious wine list. And the dish that I think best encapsulates it for me is this cod dish, because what is the one thing in Italian cooking you don't pair with fish, Karen?
Cheese.
Cheese. That is correct. Anytime I see cheese with fish, my heart does like a little somersault, but in a horrible way, like, take me to the hospital kind of way.
Right.
This fish came out not just with a little cheese, but enveloped in a blanket of what looked like, cheese whiz, basically.
Okay.
I almost freaked out. I was like, this is not what we ordered. This is not what I was promised. However, what it was black cod with over it a leek fondue. And the fondue was so light, airy, and citrusy. Yes, it had some dairy in it, of course.
Right.
But it was almost like flirting with foam, but not quite. And it still managed to keep the skin of the cod crispy, and it added a really nice, like, bright zestiness to the entire experience, and also like some decadence, frankly, which sometimes a fish dish needs. So that one is kind of the perfect example of like what this restaurant is doing. It's like on the menu you see it and it sounds basic. It comes to the table and you're like, what the fuck?
Right.
And then you taste it and you're like, oh, okay. I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's a little bit unexpected.
Yeah, in a really, really cool way. So Bar Etoile, I definitely want to go back now with like this refreshed perspective, knowing what I'm expecting. So highly recommend. Last night, after the LA Pizza Alliance, I'm not an addict, so I did not go to a pizza place.
Come on.
I did, however, go to dinner because I had a couple tacos at the LA Pizza Alliance. Shout out Frontera. But I ended up at the Mulberry on Etoile, this new Korean restaurant, right?
Yeah.
They are saying that they want to be like a Korean Hillstone, actually. That was the inspiration for the restaurant.
Right.
Vibe-wise, it's like a very good vibe. It's in the old place that Planchek was in. If you'd ever been to Planchek on Etoile.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So
Sure.
they created a beautiful restaurant. They share a designer with, I want to say, Entre or some really trendy place, right? So as you'd expect, everything looks really beautiful, like very cozy, like wood themes inside. There were no misses for me. I do think it's going to suffer a little bit what Kato suffered in the early days, which is people who are used to getting like certain versions of Korean food,
Right.
going there and being like, well, I can get this like way cheaper and way better in Koreatown. Why would I get this here?
Yeah.
And I don't ultimately think that that's true. I think that they are doing interesting twists on stuff, but I do think that they're going to have a little bit of trouble overcoming that. I hope that they can. The other thing is, when they say they want to be a Korean Hillstone, what does that mean to you?
Spinach and artichoke dip.
Sushi? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, well, to me, I mean, it says, like, it speaks to a place that people want to come back to over and over again. And that's like comfortable, but also well executed. Like that's kind of, and with good service, those are kind of, to me, the hallmarks of Hillstone.
Nailed it on the head. I would expect nothing less from the authority on Hillstone. I mean, that's exactly what you'd expect. And unfortunately, I think it's because, and this is why you shouldn't go to a restaurant when it's too new in order to like review it, right? Because service was kind of a mess last night. Like,
right. When did they open?
They've only been open for 6 weeks. So,
okay. Yeah, that's early.
Let me be on the record saying this is not a fair critique that I'm giving them right now. But the reason I want to say it is because even though it was not great, like we got our drinks after we got all of our first course, right. Like everything took forever. Like, you know, they ran out of an entree we ordered after we had ordered it, and etc. But the reason I bring it up is because our server, Derek, that's Derek with an ICK, not an EK, he handled it with such grace. Like, honestly, like it was not an easy situation.
Right. He
did all the right things, right? In terms of like coming out, explaining what was happening, reassuring us, like offering us, you know, drinks and dessert and stuff like that, right? And I just wanted to bring that up because even if service can be a horror show sometimes, like, don't just judge a restaurant based on that, but also on how they handle it.
Right, and if they, like, make it right by, you know.
Yeah,
like upping something else in some way, like a round of drinks or, you know.
Yeah, or even just empathy. Like, even just like them being like, yo, it sucks that you've waited this long, you know, for your drinks, right?
Yeah.
And for that reason, like, I will go back to the Mulberry, right? Like, it's not one of those experiences that has turned me off completely, and I actually think there's potential there. So I'm interested to see what happens with it. Last shout that I want to give, this is a special one because for the last, I want to say, like, year, Father Saul has been telling me to go check out this taqueria in the parking lot of the pavilions next to his house. It used to be called Asador Los Angeles, and now it's called Taqueria Entre Amigos. But every time he has it, he, like, hits me up and is like, yo, this is really good. Like, I think we should, like, get Bill to go there, Bill Esparza, you know, like, and I'm like, no, you're crazy. You're insane. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, then Bill's going to blow it up and everybody's going to know about it too.
It's true. Yeah.
Well, and after this too, but
I know
whatever.
This will not blow it up at all, but I, for good reason, am suspicious of Saul and his taste, right? I never really believed him, but last week we were on our way to see Marty Supreme, and we had to squeeze in a super quick dinner, so we were right by his house. We stopped by Tacos Entre Amigos, and I think he's right.
Wow.
This is a special little taqueria. The guy, his name is Ruben. I want to say he's he spent time in Tijuana, spent time in Mexicali, and his tacos are apparently a little bit bridging those two taco traditions. But he's doing arrachera, he's doing adobada, and he's cooking everything to order. Like the arrachera, he asks you like how well do you want it done, which is not something I'm typically asked at a taqueria, you know?
Right.
And then they're making their blue corn tortillas by hand there. They're making everything from hand. Literally, I ordered a chorizo taco when I got there, and they're like, sorry, we can't give it to you because we are making it right now. It was 5 p.m. for them. So like it's just like a place that is really going the extra mile with everything that they're doing. And it tasted amazing. Like it's a place I'm going to be going back to for sure.
What was the best thing you tried?
Definitely honestly, I really enjoyed the adobada, which is like, the Tijuana version of al pastor. But, one of Bill's biggest gripes with trumpos here in the United States is that he calls them wet ass trumpos. Like basically like if you go to a place like Brothers Cousins or on Hell's, right? Like you see these trumpos glistening with this like, red, neon substance.
Yeah.
And that's not the way that it's supposed to be. That marinade is supposed to have dried and caramelized and like, gotten nice and crispy on the edges. Bill, this was a dry ass trompo, bro. This was a dry ass trompo. Yeah.
Love it.
Very good.
All right.
Tacos.
Cool. Yeah. You heard it here first.
Father Saul has been saying it for years. So, I gotta give him credit. Karen, this was one of the most fun Recent Eats segments in recent history. So thank you for that. We're going to go to Future Eats now. Great. Okay. Because it's time.
Okay.
For the segment known as What Karen's Been Working On Lately.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. So this week you worked on a story that has kind of been the talk of the town. And I want to focus on it because it's really the big headline that LA's been talking about. And it is Chef Rene Redzepi's announcement that dinner at Noma LA, which will be popping up in Silver Lake from, I believe, March through June, will cost $1,500 a head. A price, he explained, that isn't driven by greed or profiteering, but rather by the financial realities of having to fly and house 130 staff members from Copenhagen to Los Angeles. Karen, from your reporting, what else did Redzepi share about Noma's time in LA?
Well, he shared that, this $1,500 per person is all inclusive.
Oh, you don't say. So I don't have to pay extra for dessert?
No, it includes a beverage pairing. It includes, hospitality, all the things. But no, I think, mainly he wanted to say that I think he wanted to, before they opened up the ticketing, talk to media because obviously there were going to be questions about why is this so expensive? And it does sound like from what he told the LA Times that a major expense is flying in the entire team from Copenhagen and housing them and, paying for some of their kids to go to school while they're here. That said, it is still a staggering price tag for a single meal. So
yeah,
I don't know. There was a lot. I mean, as you know, there was a lot of reaction to that.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to get into it. I think the other piece that he took great pains to explain is that they're not just doing a pop-up.
Correct. Yes. They're going to have a standalone store where people can buy, Noma, their coffees and their sauces and that sort of thing. So that is a more kind of accessible experience. Mm-hmm. He's also, going to be doing some collaborations with other chefs and restaurants while they're here. And they are, doing some things to support young industry professionals in terms of always having a table. I believe there's a table every night for young industry professionals under the age of 25 who will be able to dine there for free. And they're also working with CCAP on scholarships not scholarships, but having some of those alumni and students some mentorship programs and some training programs and stuff like that. So, giving back in some ways to the community.
Yeah. So with all that in mind, is the mathing to you?
Look, everything is insanely expensive these days, but it does feel exorbitant for a single meal. I know people are going to pay it. I predict that it will sell out quickly. I mean, it's just...
Oh, yeah.
And you can certainly have some very high-end experiences in other places in LA. But, you know, a lot of the criticism that I was seeing from industry folks is like, it has been such a terrible year, or a couple of years, actually, for Los Angeles restaurants. I mean, we've seen closures left and right of both new places, longstanding legacy restaurants have closed in the past few years. You know, there are people out of work because of that. Could there have been an opportunity to hire locally versus flying in everybody from Copenhagen? I mean, like, to borrow a phrase from Liam Neeson, I'm sure they have particular sets of skills that they're bringing with them. But like, you know, I mean, it's like, couldn't you, like, were there maybe some ways to give back to the local industry and economy versus, you know, doing that? Oh, and not to mention, I mean, like, it's also, you know, ICE raids and people getting picked off the streets. And that's obviously had such a huge impact on the hospitality and restaurant industry. And a lot of what I'm hearing or seeing out there is that it was a little tone deaf, to say the least.
Yeah. I think he played it wrong by stating the price as $1,500. Like, clearly they made a choice, right? Like, we are going to come out with this $1,500 price. We're going to make sure that everybody knows it includes the beverage pairing, it includes the tax, it includes the tip. I actually think they would have been better off by saying it costs like $800 and it does not include tax, tip, and stuff, you know, because people just see the $1,500 and they freak the fuck out, you know?
Right.
But I think, as Stephanie said in her piece, and I think you may have as well, like, there are dinners out there in Los Angeles currently. Yeah,
like Somni is like, you could spend that much money.
With the right beverage pairing, you could spend more than that at Somni or Addison. So I think they made a little bit of a mistake there, which is funny because it feels like he took great pains to try to, like, control this narrative by going out and speaking with media in order to control this. Do you think he, like, consciously did that because he was worried about this blowback?
I mean, that would be my thought behind it. Like, I actually, unfortunately, did not get to speak to him for my article.
Right.
So, you know, I can't say that for certain. But that, yeah, anytime you're throwing out a figure over $1,000 for a meal, you're going to get a little pushback and questions and criticism for why you're charging that much. Now, granted, it's like, I mean, somebody made the point to me, they were like, I could probably fly to Copenhagen and eat at Noma there for like the same amount of money that it's going to cost to eat there in Los Angeles. And it's like, well, yeah, that's maybe. Like, I don't know. So it's the math is not necessarily mathing for everybody.
No. And you know, to your point, the announcement went down like a lead balloon on social media, and I actually did some scouring of the Instagram comments, and the themes I started seeing is, obviously, just like, can you believe it, UGH, but also there were more serious things like some resurfacings of past allegations that Noma overly relies on unpaid stagiaires. So like the notion of having to like fly them out and house them is kind of ironic.
Right.
There were also some allegations of, past bad behaviors that Redzepi himself has demonstrated in the kitchen. As you'd expect, lots of mentions of reindeer penises, which I think people will be
of course
very disappointed not to see on the menu unless he's found a reindeer in Los Angeles. But yeah, to your point, people mostly just thought it was tone deaf given what's happening to LA restaurants right now. And you alluded to that in your piece as well. To me, I think with that point, I can totally see that. Like, I can totally see why people feel that way. I do think there's something to be said for the fact that the best argument that could be made here, in my opinion, it's the same argument that like something like the Olympics does when they come to town, right? It's basically like this halo effect that could happen by a major event coming to a city and almost like putting it on a map in some way, shape, or form. Now, that doesn't always happen with the Olympics, but you could see a world in which Noma coming to Los Angeles in some way, like, makes Los Angeles around the world appear like a more attractive culinary destination. And therefore, down the line, when people are, especially food travelers and like gastronomical vacationers, which is a category that actually exists these days, when they're thinking about making their next voyage, maybe they give Los Angeles another look. So, you could choose to look at it that way. Am I looking at it that way? I don't know, but I'm just saying that's out there.
Well, I also think too, and I agree with you on that front. And now that LA does have a couple of 3 Michelin star restaurants, I think it makes it a more appealing destination for that kind of traveler. I also think, not everybody who buys a ticket to this Noma residency is going to be from LA. People are going to fly in. And so maybe they're spending tourism dollars. They're booking a hotel. They're going to some other meals while they're here. I mean, that's good. The tourism economy has been hurting quite a bit. And it does put a spotlight on LA because of who he is. So that is definitely a positive.
Well, and
I don't know if just to play devil's advocate, I don't know if we needed his approval necessarily.
No.
You know what I mean? But it is a positive for, that, like you said, that kind of worldwide gastronomical community.
Yeah. I mean, look, LA has a big resistance to anybody coming from outside and being we deem you to be good, or even if it's we deem you to be good, not even shitting on Los Angeles. They're look, we know we're good. We really don't need your validation. We do live in a global world where sometimes that stuff does carry weight. When people are talking are making comparisons between the $1,500 ticket price at Noma and I don't know, let's say the $500 ticket price at, let's say, Cato, right? Yes, apples to apples, I'd probably rather eat at Cato myself. Mm-hmm. But you do also have to consider Noma was the #1 restaurant in the world 5 years in a row. This is almost as much entertainment as it is just dining.
Right. And it's about the full experience. It's not just it's not simply a meal.
And it's people are spending $5,000 to go see the USA play Paraguay at the World Cup. So I think about it more like that kind of an event than I would, an event like this. The part that I think really is kind of inexcusable to me, it's not like this pop-up just pops up overnight, right? They come here for months and months and months at a time in order to do the research, right? So the need to fly his entire staff over and have them do that, I think is really diminished. I think when you have that much of a lead up time, why not hire local people? You don't have the excuse of not having the time to train them. Frankly, there are good enough cooks in this city and in this state.
For sure.
To do the job, So that part to me, I think, is where it really stinks.
Yeah. No, it's I think there's kind of a missing link of helping the local economy a little bit more.
Yeah, and so then when he comes out and says things like, oh, but we're going to be donating, 1% of profits here, et cetera, it rings a little hollow because there was a really meaningful way to do this, and it's not really happening in that way. But pros, cons, everything in between. But a couple of surprising celebrity sightings in the comments I wanted to bring up. Andrew Zimmern of Bizarre Foods fame, a guy who's probably had a couple reindeer penises in his mouth at some point. He got in the comment section and called it bullshit, writing, "Why not say that's what it costs and admit its elitist nature? Why obfuscate?" Kenchi Lopez Alt also said, "I wonder how much of this insane price the workers who made the food are seeing," which is a good point. And Amber Kaufman of Dirty Projectors fame said, "LOL. Seems like there's no love lost for Noma, even among the elite of food and pop culture." I was kind of surprised to see this a little bit because, Rene Redzepi feels a little bit like the third rail. Not a lot of people touch Rene Redzepi,
Yeah, I think it's just, like we were saying, kind of the tone deafness of all of it. And given the last couple of years that the city has had, just kind of the cavalierness of coming in and saying, we're going to charge $1,500. So I'm not surprised there were strong reactions even by some of these, food celebs. It is what it is. However, are some of them going to go to it? Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to see.
We'll
have to, follow the Instagram posts and see who actually goes.
What we should do? We should buy a ticket and offer to Andrew Zimmern and see if he goes.
There you go.
Put him on the spot.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, do you have designs to go?
I mean, I don't have an extra $1,500 lying around for one dinner. So, I doubt I will be amongst the lucky few to go. How about you?
Yeah. To be clear, neither do I. Doesn't mean I won't go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like where there is a will.
If invited, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Overall, I think it's a thing that has potential to be very cool for the city. I am disappointed with how it's been rolled out and with some of the choices that have been made. This I know for sure. It will be a fascinating thing to watch for the 3 months that it's happening.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like, I will be. Yeah. Like I said, the Instagram posts, the comments, all of it. It's gonna be like the Olympics of dining,
but with fewer backflips and things of that nature,
and more reindeer penises.
Way more reindeer penises. Now, any other stories you'd like to plug for our listeners that you've been working on?
Well, it's so interesting because, like, the day after the Noma announcement was made, I just randomly got a press release from the media and travel company Roads and Kingdoms that they're launching an anti-ice dinner series, launching it here in LA for some obvious reasons. But one of the dinners that they're doing three dinners, 2 of them are with Daniel Patterson, tasting menu. You know, he's obviously a fine dining vet.
Friend of the pod.
So he's doing like a 10-course dinner that's I believe at a private residence in Larchmont. That is $1,000, but 100% of the proceeds are going to a nonprofit that's like actively helping immigrants and refugees with, like, you know, legal counsel and support here in Southern California. So it just was sort of like, so I ended up doing an article on it just because it was like such a stark contrast to the Noma announcement.
I love that.
And, you know, it's kind of like, well, if you have $1,500 to spend on that, then you could probably spend $1,000 on this anti-ice dinner and, you know.
Yeah.
And still. And
or
like,
if you're making choices.
Yeah. Right. So
you know,
anyway, we'll see.
If you're between the two.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's a recent one. Like I said, I'm working on something about electric blue, which I'm excited about. And you'll have to stay tuned for the rest of it.
And I highly recommend reading Karen's piece on Melrose Hill too, because that's a neighborhood we've talked a lot about on this podcast. And Karen does a great job exploring how this historic Los Angeles neighborhood has become the hottest place to eat in town. All right, this has been a fascinating conversation, Karen. Are you down for a rapid round of Chef's Kiss Big Miss?
Let's do it.
Off to the races. Gourmet Magazine is back from the dead. Kind of. Sorry. Gourmet Magazine is back from the dead. Kind of. 5 30-somethings working in food media realized that Condé Nast had let the trademark for gourmet lapse in 2021 and decided to jump on it, relaunching the storied publication as an online newsletter that will focus primarily on, quote, words and recipes with complexity. Ruth Reichel herself expressed support for the new pub, saying if Condé Nast has allowed the trademark to lapse and they've managed to secure it, more power to them. Karen, the new gourmet, Chef's Kiss or Big Miss?
I'm going to give it a Chef's Kiss. I kind of think it's hilarious that Condé Nast just didn't renew the trademark. And, you know, these are like...
Since 2021.
I know, it's wild. So, like, you know, and these are respected writers and designers who have taken the name and now are doing, you know, more of a newsletter style publication, which... You know, we've seen plenty of people. That's kind of the new thing, the Substack. Yeah. The Substack universe. So yeah, I'm here for it. The only thing I don't love the logo.
I agree. I was agree.
Like, what did you? I don't know. I just, it's not for me. But I'm here for the journalism, and I'm here for, like, you know, them taking it out. It's just, I don't get it.
I love the color palette, and I love the fonts that they use for, like, the actual newsletter. I also love the, like, little, like, illustrations they have. Yep. But yeah, I agree. The logo's, like, kind of fumbled. Like, I feel like...
Well, it's also, like, that logo was so iconic. I don't, you know, it's like, I don't know if they could reuse that somehow. I'm sure probably not. But, like, it just seems to have swung so far away. I don't know. That's my only small gripe about it. But...
Yeah. All right, gourmet team, you heard it here first. Your logo's trash. Moving on to the next one.
Great.
Eater's Mona Holmes reports that, and I'm reading directly from the piece, which you should go check out, by the way. After less than a year open, Mar Vista's Beethoven Market has lost its ability to serve liquor after the Department of City Planning found the restaurant to be in breach of conditions laid out by the restaurant beverage program. The loss of the interim operating permit is the latest development in an ongoing dispute between the restaurant and its neighbors, who have filed numerous complaints with the city of Los Angeles since Beethoven Market's opening in March 2025. Karen, are Beethoven Market's pain-in-the-ass neighbors a chef's kiss or a big miss?
I mean, well, first of all, I think restaurants should be respectful of their neighbors, obviously. But this seems like a big miss. I mean, I have to say, first of all, I do live in Mar Vista.
Are you one of those neighbors?
I mean, my name is Karen, but apparently Jessica is the new Karen, according to reports. I don't know.
I heard that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Finally, my day has come. I think it's, having been over there several times since they opened, I have never noticed it to be like wildly loud. Of course, I don't live right next door.
Yeah.
So it's hard enough to run a restaurant without this kind of setback. So I'm going to say this is a big miss, and I hope that they are able to, somehow get the liquor license back. They are still operating without it. So I hope that people go out and support and, continue eating there, even though they can't serve alcohol at the moment. So
go support people. You've been many times. I know. I've never been. Is it a particularly loud restaurant?
No, that's the thing. I'm not looking at it from a neighbor's perspective where I'm, hearing it all the time. But no, it's not crazy.
Yeah.
There is a patio area, but I would say, it's filled mostly with like young families and like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's just like, it's not, there's not like music blaring all the time. It's wild to me that this is happening, actually. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's just because I remember when it opened, I think Jeremy Adler talking about how it had been a struggle to open because the residents were so concerned about noise and all that stuff, right? And people coming from outside and fucking with their parking, et cetera, et cetera. And so I just feel like these NIMBY neighbors were just kind of waiting for like the first possible excuse to jump on it.
Totally.
So that's why it's so fucked up.
They were saying somewhere, I was reading that it's like allegedly one person has complained like, multiple times. And it's like, I don't know. It's crazy. And
that's what makes like city politics so infuriating sometimes, is because so few people are actually engaged with the process, that when there's one person who's just the loudest, it makes such a big difference. And that's why it matters. Like, if you love your local neighborhood restaurant or something, I know it seems like stupid, but like, let your local council member know. Be like, yo, this place, it's really doing an amazing service in the neighborhood. It is an incredible community hotspot, or not just hotspot, gathering spot. They do incredible services, etc. First of all, council member offices give those restaurants awards sometimes. They give them like certificates and things like that. But B, like, they will look at positive reviews versus negative reviews like a Yelp page when it comes down to it. So just, get out there and support your local restaurants in more ways than just spending your dollars there, which is also important. Okay, moving on. In Fine Dining Lovers, Raphael Tonon makes the case that the death of the anonymous food critic might be a mistake. The piece argues that while food criticism has become more visible and democratic, it has also become more economically precarious, with fewer critics being paid well and more content functioning as unpaid labor or thinly veiled PR. It warns that platform-driven formats favor speed, sameness, and sensationalism over nuance, eroding space for careful writing, ethics, and contextual judgment. And the piece notes that forcing critics into influencer-style performance risks diluting the purpose of criticism itself, replacing expertise with personality without actually rebuilding trust. Karen, are Tonon's arguments for keeping food critics anonymous a chef's kiss or a big miss?
I do agree with some of his points, like, absolutely, critics should not be put in the kind of like influencer role. That said, though, I mean, like, I think part of the whole thing that never really made sense about the anonymous critic is that, like, people knew who they were anyway.
Yeah.
Like, Kitchens would have pictures of Bill Addison or Tejal Rao or like whoever, whoever the person might be. So it's kind of like, I just think in this day and age of social media and everybody being so public, it's like, I don't know. I'm going to give it a big miss just because like, I'm hoping that it doesn't change the critics' experience, because now that they are more public, they might get treated with a little more special attention. But I don't know. I just like it, like the anonymous critic felt a little antiquated to me anyway. So
yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I'd give the piece overall a chef's kiss.
No, the piece was the piece was well thought out, very well argued. Totally agree with that. Yeah. And
that wasn't my question at all. But I just wanted to like emphasize that because like I love what Paul Feinstein's doing over at Fine Dining Lovers. I think that the writing has gone to another level on that platform. But
totally,
I think that the take that they need to become anonymous, I think it's dangerous. So one of the things he talks about is the fact that it's actually more economically precarious for writers, and basically there aren't as well paying jobs out there for food media. Well, the reason for that is because people have stopped reading those long nuanced articles a really long time ago. Mm-hmm. The readership has gone down and funding for that has dried up. So I don't think the answer is to do more of that necessarily. I think it's how to figure out how to do it in new, interesting ways.
Right, to adapt with the ways that things are changing.
Yeah, and so I think this is like a necessary transition point for like to figure out what the next phase is, you know? And so I like, for example, you guys are doing at SF Gate, like you guys do the long form articles, but I've also noticed that every once in a while, like Farley will go on and do like an Instagram post where he's like reading it out or reading out a version of the article or something, and it becomes like an intriguing, enticing social media format. It doesn't feel performative. It doesn't feel like he's just playing for clicks or anything like that. This is kind of a necessary step to find a format that works for food media to become lucrative again.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. For sure.
Okay, glad we're in agreement on the future of food media. Final one for you, Karen. Austin Tedesco of the Substack Bangers and Jams took issue with couples who order the same entree. He writes, "The era of ordering 10 small plates may be dead, and that's fine, but I love a tiny menu with real portions. But I'm sorry, if you're a couple and you're sitting in my vicinity at dinner, I'm going to judge your order, and I'm shocked by the number of couples I see out there ordering 2 of the same heavy entree. Are you kidding?" He was referencing a couple that were sitting next to each other and both ordered a big old bowl of like vodka fusilli or something each. Karen, couples ordering the same entree, chef's kiss or big miss?
All right, I have several things to say about that. Would I prefer to order, if I'm out to dinner with another person or my boyfriend or whatever, would I prefer to order 2 different things so I can try 2 different things? Yes. Mm-hmm. That said, why the fuck does he care so much about what other people are ordering? Like, I just like, I don't understand. It's like, why does this bother you so much? Like, I don't know. I understand his point, but it's like, it's
a good take.
I mean, I think people can order whatever the hell they want. Like, I honestly think we should just be happy that these couples are out supporting restaurants, and God forbid they order the same thing. So I'm giving his take a big. I'm just giving it all a big miss. Like, order whatever you want. I don't care.
Maybe he's so bothered by it because he's alone.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just saying maybe. It's giving cry for help a little bit, Austin. Okay.
Well,
I've said this before.
What do you think?
I've said this before, actually, but I've said this before about Austin's writing. Like, it seems like he needs someone to go to dinner with. And I'm telling you, Austin, I'm here, buddy. I will come to dinner with you. I think we'd get along.
We're
seriously.
here for you if you need it.
Yeah. And we don't have to order the same thing. We could try multiple things. Anyways, I agree. Big miss. Order whatever the fuck you want. Just support the restaurant.
Thank you.
Karen, it's been an absolute delight. Assuming you don't have a shitty Yelp review for anyone this week?
No. I'm just that take. That's all I got.
Good. Austin gets a big miss and a shitty Yelp review. All right, then we will be back right after the break with expense accounts Jason Lee. Karen, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, welcoming to the LA Food Podcast, a man who I think has the hottest food podcast around right now. You might know him as Jay Lee. I think his official name is Jason Lee. Jason, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Dude, I'm stoked to talk to you. Hey, I have an icebreaker question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
What do you think the rapper known as Doechii means when she says, "I'm like Carrie Bradshaw with a back brace on"?
I mean, I would like to think, for those who don't know, my Instagram handle is Carrie Bradshaw. So I would like to think that she's talking about me. I mean, she's certainly more capable than me as far as dancing. So maybe maybe the back brace is holding her back from it's me. She's being held back by this back brace.
Held back or helped? That's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
Is it
maybe.
just because she has like the team on her back, you know?
That makes sense. Let's say that. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, thanks for joining us. As I said, I think you've got one of the most exciting food podcasts to hit the scene in 2025.
Yeah.
For our guests based in LA who aren't familiar with Expense Account, what's your like elevator pitch for it?
I mean, I'm still figuring it out. This is a new thing to me. But I would say I kind of want to talk to food people about not food. And then I want to talk to people that wouldn't necessarily consider themselves food people. I want to talk to them about food because I think that so many people have an opinion on food. Everybody has an opinion on food, and I think everyone can riff a little bit about food. So I think most people can have some fun talking about food.
Is this something you've been thinking about for a while, or did the opportunity arise and you just were like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it"?
Kind of both. It was something that was kind of like a running joke, kind of like I like a few times in like little things that I wrote, I'd be like, "Oh, I'll save that take for the podcast." And then Emily Sundberg, who is the proprietor of my podcast, I write for her for her Substack called Feed Me. She was like, "Wait, are you doing a podcast?" And I'm like, I didn't really actually have any plans to do a podcast, but she's like, "Let's do a podcast." So we're doing it.
So I love the spontaneity of it. Were you a big consumer of podcasts before you started?
I consume a medium amount of podcasts. I know that some people are much heavier consumers than I am. I'm kind of still like old guard podcasts. I love like the Heavyweight and This American Life, and but I do listen to podcasts. I listen to more podcasts when I worked in like an office, you know. Now,
Yeah.
a little bit less, but I love podcasts, of course.
Oh shit! So you're like more of an NPR guy than like a Joe Rogan guy.
I'd hope not to describe myself as an NPR guy. Maybe I am. Nothing wrong with being an NPR guy. I'm fine actually being described as an NPR guy.
Yeah. No, there is a certain cachet that comes with being an NPR guy as opposed to a Joe Rogan guy per se. I know which one I'd rather be.
Joe Rogan, I'm assuming you're.
Of course, yes. That's who I would rather. That's the kind of guy I'd rather be. Yeah. Absolutely. Look, I'd love to learn a little bit about like your background in food.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of people who like work in food these days, especially like writers or like people who are associated with new media, they sort of like started it as a hobby while they were like holding down like fake email jobs.
Yeah.
Is that your story too, or do you have a different one?
I mean, mine is similar, but not quite. I've been working in food in various capacities. Mostly I've been working in like beverage distribution and importing. Like I'm a former wine guy.
Oh.
So I had this account, Carrie Bradshaw, my Instagram account, and it started as my Finsta, like my fake Instagram, where I would just post like party photos and just like whatever for my friends, and then it started to become photos of my meals.
Yeah.
And then I got really into posting photos of my meals, and then one day I ate a really bad meal and I wrote about it, and then everyone loved it. Or I don't know, my friends were like, "Oh, that was so funny." So then I started to post photos of my meals plus like little reviews, small reviews, and then I guess it kind of took off from there. I don't know. Emily saw my Instagram, Emily Sundberg, and then she asked me to start writing for Feed Me. And that was the first time that I ever considered even writing anything longer than like a Instagram caption, you know.
What was the restaurant, and what was your approach to writing the review? Was it just like spitballing?
It was out of anger. This was this restaurant Lodi. It's the owner of Estella and Cafe Ultra Paradiso. He had this place in Rockefeller Plaza that was kind of like supposed to be like an Italian kind of snack bar, kind of espresso bar thing. It's a nice concept, but I went for Thanksgiving, which was maybe my own fault. But it wasn't clear that this wasn't a real restaurant at the time. It had just opened. It's a cafe, not like a restaurant. So we're sitting in a vestibule It's outside and it's cold out in November in New York. So we're sitting in this vestibule. It's Thanksgiving Day, and then we eat our meal. It's really good. The food is great, actually. And then they drop the check after like an hour. And we're like, oh, like, I don't know. We wanted to get maybe another drink or something. They're like, oh, no, you have to leave. And they like kicked us out after like an hour.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's like, it's Thanksgiving. We paid so much to be here. It's an Italian restaurant. Like, you're supposed to have like a long, boozy Italian lunch. Plus Thanksgiving is like a long meal. And they're kicking us out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just wrote like really impassioned review of the meal, saying that the food was good, but that was a really inhospitable thing to do. And to their credit, they gave me a full refund.
Wow.
For the 4 people. Yeah. And I was like, that's a classy move. I respect that.
Because you tagged them in the review?
Yeah. That was the first time I ever wrote anything. And the first time, yeah, I definitely don't go about tagging people like that, but yeah. I was mad.
You're not one of those people who like tags Delta if like your flight is delayed?
I wonder if that ever works.
No.
I have done that. Didn't work. But airlines have it hard.
They do, man. They probably get tagged so much every day.
Yeah. I feel like all the tagging is making their customer service worse.
It's like, yeah, the legitimate complaints get drowned out by people trying to get free upgrades.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, I don't think they care about anything. It's just like they just shut down all of their systems now.
Oh my God. That's like the way I aspire to live, just not caring about anything and shutting down all my systems.
Yeah, like, you got to wear some noise canceling headphones.
Yeah, seriously. So you post this review. Was Emily already following you?
No, this was probably like 6 months or a year before. Maybe it was even 2 years before she started following me. She actually only followed me when she asked me to start writing for the Substack.
No way.
I don't know if she'd seen it. I don't know if she'd been like lurking it. But yeah, we were introduced by Caitlin Phillips, who's like a friend, like a peripheral friend of mine, and she's a PR person, very good at her job and good at connecting people. So I kind of owe that connection to Caitlin, I would say. And
so the pitch was come write a column on Feed Me, which for people who don't know, Feed Me is like one of the hottest newsletters on Substacks. It's very business focused, right?
Yeah. And so she asked me to write for Feed Me. I'd never heard of Feed Me. I wasn't like in this Substack ecosystem at the time. And she asked me to write, and I pitched her a few columns. And the column that made the most sense is the one that I'm writing now, and the one that the podcast is named after. It's Expense Account, which makes sense with her newsletter, because it's like, I wanted to go to fancy restaurants, so I was basically just pitching her to like pay for me to go to restaurants that I wouldn't be able to afford to go to.
Yeah.
As with an expense account.
It's a good strategy.
Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, this is the best one for the newsletter as well." So really was very lucky. I thought that she would turn that one down, being that it would be the most expensive one. The other one was like, someone comes over and cooks at my house for me, and one of my friends comes over and I review their meal that they cook for me.
That sounds like a YouTube series.
Yeah, that probably is somebody's like TikTok channel or whatever. It seems like surely that's been done.
I'm pretty sure that's just all TikToks anywhere.
Yeah.
Is people reviewing their friends cooking. So I've really enjoyed the columns. Are they all structured the same way in terms of like things you're selling and buying?
No. So I write a column. I have 2 columns. I write one that's Expense Account, that's for Feed Me. The thing that you're referring to is my last year. I wrote a buying and selling list. Instead of doing like a best of like year-end list, I did something that was like,
oh, smart.
For 2026, this is what I'm buying and this is what I'm selling, to kind of have it fit into her like business letter ecosystem. So it'd be like, I was buying tavern style pizza, which I think that my investment in tavern style pizza paid off, because it's been having a big year here in New York.
Here too. It's like the hottest pizza in town.
Yeah. So that was something that I was buying, and then I was selling like I don't know, like Caesar salad, or I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think probably I sold Caesar salad.
Be smart.
I don't know. That one I need to sit on for a little while, that investment, or that short, but I think that in the long run,
it'll pay off. Everybody's still doing it right now, but I think the fatigue is setting in.
Yeah, it's a good salad. No one's really mad at a Caesar salad. People want to eat something salty.
Yeah.
But so that was the format for that. And then for Expense Account, I write like it's like a review, like full length review, and then I do like a number system that's out of 10, but the numbers are kind of like all like weird decimal points, and they're kind of like arbitrary and a joke a little bit. But I review them all out of 10. And then I also write for Interview magazine. I have a column that's called Cooked. And that one is kind of more free form, where sometimes I'm interviewing people, and then sometimes I'm doing a review, and sometimes it's more of like a think piece kind of thing, like the Hillstone thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few different formats that I do.
I was going to say the infamous Hillstone one. Did the Interview Mag Opportunity one come before or after Feed Me?
After Feed Me, yeah. I'm the contributing food editor, but that doesn't actually mean that much. It's a job title that was made up for me. But I've been I write my column, and I get to have a little bit of freedom with it. Yeah, they let me have a little bit of fun with it. But the Hillstone piece was my first piece for Interview, and I wanted to do something a little that would rock the boat a little bit. I had to for the first piece. And for those, I wrote this piece for Interview that was called "Why I'm Quitting Hillstone," and it was about basically that Hillstone is. I love Hillstone. It's like it's too perfect.
Get that out of the way.
Yeah. That's the problem, is that it's just like, if I like let myself lean into loving Hillstone and eating at Hillstone, then I just am like leaning into just eating like a baby forever, like eating just like burger and fries and just eating like really clean food. I don't know. It was just about like not settling for mediocrity, or like wanting to live life to its fullest or something.
I think you called it like the perfecting of mediocrity or something.
I can't remember, like something like that, basically.
You know what I loved about it is, so Hillstone is an institution here in LA. You nailed it. I think you mentioned that we have like 5 or 6 different iterations of the same restaurant.
What's your one called?
Well, my local one, I live in the east side of Los Angeles, so the one closer to me is Houston's in Pasadena.
Oh yeah, Houston.
But the one that I've been to the most recently is Honor Bar in Beverly Hills, because I'm doing this thing where
I've heard the Honor Bar is really good.
It's good. Well, they're all like virtually the same, right?
They're all really good.
Yeah, they're all like very similar. But whenever I ask chefs, especially, like one of my like shticks on the podcast is I ask like the closer question, because it makes for good social media content, is what are 3 restaurants you love right now? The amount of times like proper chefs drop Hillstone as like one of their favorite restaurants, there's always like a hint of shame, but they're always like very serious about it. So, the fact that you like were able to take a stand on this issue that I think needed taking a stand on, I applaud.
I mean, basically I just wanted to avoid having to talk about Hillstone. I guess I'm still doing it. I just wanted to, like, if I was asked one of those questions, I'd have to say Hillstone, and I just wanted to like be like, I'm done with this. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
But I crave it all the time. I'm always like, oh, what if I just went for like a cheeky little, I want those shoestring fries so bad.
Yeah. And a martini. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that.
I know. I want it all the time. Maybe I'll write one why I'm going back to Hillstone, crawling back on my knees.
My relapse.
Yeah.
My relapse.
Talk to my sponsor.
Yeah. I can be your sponsor. I'll be your Hillstone sponsor anytime, Jason.
Oh, nice.
Now, what I love about, your style, like with Interview Mag and with Expense Account, is it feels very much like latching on, or, sort of like starting a new wave of what food media can be like. And I'm curious to know like how intentional that is versus just that's who you are and how you write stuff.
I mean, I love to hear that. I don't know if necessarily I would like to build the thing I want to see in the world, that's the thing that everybody wants to do. But I think I'm like I was never like a media person, or like so I don't really know how to do it in a different way. Sometimes I'm like, oh, could I like write, like, I was like trying to think of doing some kind of like investigative journalism thing, and I'm like, I don't know if I could even really write like that. People ask me all the time if it's reactionary, and it is, because it is mostly in just that I would like to do things differently. I'd like to see things done differently.
From what?
Like just said,
like from what?
More, I just would like to see more like diversity and representation, and also real opinions in food media. Just I guess now that I have a podcast, it's getting a little muddy, but I would like to just like I want media, food media. I guess I can talk about media at large only a little bit, but I'd like it to be more honest and more diverse and more fun too. Like
Yeah.
I'm like it's such a fun little corner. Like we have it all. Like who doesn't want to read? Who doesn't love food? Like so, it should just be fun. It should be salacious. It should be diverse. There's so much food. So that's what I would like to see, and that's what I hope to express. I don't do it the best all the time, but that's my goal.
I mean, that's part of the beauty of it, though, right? It's like you're kind of building the plane as you fly it,
Yeah.
which,
Figuring it out.
yeah, and it reminds me of your column that you wrote in response to the New York Times 100. Didn't you say something? Didn't this kind of like opinion come out in that where you were like, I kind of wish people had opinions?
Yeah, basically, just that. Yeah, it's like I mean, I don't think that everything needs to be a slam piece. And like when I first started writing my reviews, I feel like I probably leaned a little into that, which is fun. People like to read that kind of thing, and
Yeah.
I do think there needs to be some like institutional critique. Like a lot of these restaurants rest on their laurels, and they're like giving us mediocre products. Hillstone is exceptional. A lot of these restaurants are giving us mediocre products for like exorbitant prices, and it's like we deserve more than that as consumers, as eaters, as people of the world. So that's something that I tried to do with my column, and I feel like a lot of I won't like this isn't specifically about the Times. I like some of the coverage they do, a lot of it, but I would like to see more like real criticism. Like a lot sometimes it seems like a lot of food media, especially reviews, are like every publication is doing the same, writing reviews of the same like restaurants, which are the new restaurants, which makes
Yeah.
sense. But then like at a point, it feels like you're like part of the PR machine more than like someone that's trying to reflect on like a diner's actual like needs or experiences or something.
Yeah, how much of that is like our fault as the readers, though? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like
Yeah,
we're so fucking thirsty for like what's
yeah,
new that like,
yeah. I want to read the Bobo review. I want to read it like the moment it opens.
yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
waiting every day for it. So it is what the people want, and I mean I'm lucky in that I get to be a little bit independent in that way, where I don't really ever feel that much pressure to have to write about this new place that I have to chase the reservation for. Mostly I don't want to have to chase a reservation.
Which I hear is hellish in New York.
Oh, is it not that way in LA?
Not across the board. Like it's
Huh.
doable. Some places you do have to chase reservations for,
Yeah.
but it's a lot easier to get a reservation than from what I hear in New York.
Yeah, you can't get a reservation anywhere
Yeah.
here, basically. On a Friday or Saturday night, you can't go anywhere.
Are you Dorseying any reservations?
What do you mean? Do you mean using a fake name? Or what
No,
do
I
you
mean like using the secondary markets.
Oh, Dorsey. I thought you were talking about. I always get confused about that because that's the American Psycho.
Oh yeah.
Like, isn't that the name of the restaurant in American Psycho?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm always. That's what I thought you were talking about. I think that's unethical, and so I don't.
Yeah.
And I also think it's a waste of money. Mostly, I think it's a waste of money, but I don't. I think that makes the restaurant scene in the world a worse place. So I kind of prefer to not have to pay an extra $50 on top of my meal. It's like a win-win,
Yeah.
really.
Or a lose-lose if you
Yeah.
cave into it.
Yeah, you lose. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing that strikes me, like you use the word salacious to talk about food media, and I think that's something that's really interesting to me because I've long thought that food media is a little too insidery. Like it's a little like
Yeah.
don't want to quite use the word masturbatory, but I kind of mean that, it's like it's very like
Yeah.
insider baseball a lot of the time. And to your point, like food is something that people are generally like very interested in. So why not
everyone
cover it
eats.
more like reality TV in that sense?
Yeah. I mean, this is something that Emily Sundberg, who I write for, was talking about with just media in general, and that all media is kind of turning into sports media, or all media will like kind of go in this direction where like sports media, they have all these pundits that are like talking about, I guess this is maybe the inside baseball thing that you're saying, but that they have like business media, like they have like talking heads that are talking about the CEOs the same way that they'd be talking about LeBron or something, you know, like. And I think that like with food media, people talk that way about chefs, but I kind of try to like make it a little broader, a little bit more fun. Like I do try to appeal to like an insidery type of person because I feel like maybe that's my audience, but also sometimes I'm like, I want like my dad or something to be able to read it without having to know necessarily like the whole history of like every restaurant that Jean Georges has opened or something, you know?
Yeah. Do you think that people care about chefs anymore?
This is something that's interesting. I think it's a different thing. Like Helen Rosner's always being like the age of the celebrity chef is over. Like there's not going to be any more celebrity chefs in the way that we've known them. Like that Dave Chang was our last celebrity chef. And that like I mean, we have TikTok people they are celebrity chefs now,
Right.
but then like the people that are actually in the kitchens are kind of a different category of celebrity, or maybe the landscape of what a celebrity is changing. Maybe that's the thing that's shifting more than the chefs. But yeah, I wonder. I think that people are realizing the hardworking, attractive people are realizing that they don't actually have to work in a real kitchen and be abused in order to become a celebrity and rich. That they can just do it on TikTok, so they don't actually have to have burns all over their arms and stuff in order to, and like emotional trauma to become like a celebrated food person.
So that leaves only the ugly, charismatic people to be in the kitchens, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically.
I've got to, so in terms of like, you know, the guests you're trying to appeal to or trying to get on your podcast for expense account, is the thinking there like you're trying to widen the audience of the people that can talk about food?
Yeah. I mean, we started off with our first two guests were Allison Roman and Helen Rosner. So it's like pretty like food, like pretty food focused people.
Right.
But then we had on this guy, Joe Weisenthal, who is the host of a podcast for Bloomberg called Odd Lots. He's like a big business kind of guy. And we also just had on a porn star, Asa Akira. So I wanted to try to like broaden. It's so interesting to talk to people who don't consider themselves like foodies or whatever about food, because everybody has their own habits, everybody has their own opinions, and everyone has takes about food. Literally every single person, and those are the ones that I want to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to hear the like inside baseball ones too, but I would like for it to be all kinds of conversations on every level, and they're all valid. Like all of the conversations are valid because everybody's opinion about food is just as valuable, because everybody eats. So like I don't know, it's just a whole world that I would like to expand onto, you know.
Who are your dream guests?
I mean, I want Dua Lipa. That's my thing. I feel
like I've heard you say that before. It's like your entire career goal.
I know it's like kind of pathetic at this point, but she's the person that straddles the line the best, because she is a big foodie. She knows so much about wine. She's drinking cool wine all the time. And she also is like a pop star and cool. She travels the world. I don't know. And she's like does so much media stuff. She'd be an amazing guest. Josh Hart is another person like that. He's one of the players on the Knicks.
Yeah.
He's he's hilarious. I think he's so funny.
He's got a podcast, right?
Yeah, he's got a podcast, and he's a wine guy. I'd love to have him on. I guess, yeah. Everyone wants to have like Timothée and all. I don't know. I kind of the thing that's fun for me about it is like I kind of wish that the guest could be a surprise to me, where like someone comes on and I have to just like figure it out. But
have you found like podcasting to be relatively easy, challenging? Like what's it, because like some people treat it too much like moderating a panel, I feel like, and then other people just treat it too much like a casual conversation, and with zero structure whatsoever. And I feel like there is some sort of balance to be struck. How have you been finding it?
I've been finding it hard, to be honest. Not hard, but it's much different than writing. Like with writing, you always get to sit down and think. You get to edit stuff. You always have your best foot forward. You always get to be your funniest self, you know? And it's a very different way of thinking than, I guess, living in real life, I guess. And I don't want it to feel like rigid. Like I want it to be a conversation, you know, more than I want it to be like a discussion, or something.
You want it to be like a hang, right?
Yeah, I want it to be like hanging out, but then I've been finding sometimes when I let it get too into the hanging out, it's like really like what you're saying, like unstructured. It's like really we're just like hanging out, and I'm like, is this interesting to anybody?
What was a moment in your recent episodes where you felt like that, where you were like, wait, have we talked about anything? Because I'll be honest, listening to you, I haven't felt that way.
Oh,
Like not once.
that's nice to hear. I mean, with Helen, we did like a long bit at the beginning, like a long segment at the beginning that was about adult ADHD. And I was like, this is interesting to me, but it's so funny to have Helen Rosner, the critic of the New Yorker, on the podcast. And then we just kick it off by talking about ADHD. I felt like it was kind of like my Joe Rogan moment or something. We're not talking about food on this podcast. We're talking about Vyvanse. But I think some people found it to be valuable. I hope.
Isn't that like the whole point of that you're trying to talk to food people about not food?
Yeah. But I wonder. It went on a little longer than I meant for it to. Yeah, I don't know. Length. Sometimes you're just in it, and it goes for so. What's the longest podcast you've done?
Dude, honestly, I found the longer the better. Like they just do like we've published ones that are like 2 hours long, and I don't know if it's because it's like, when people publish super long albums on Spotify, they do better because people are just streaming them more because they have more songs, or if it's because people actually just like to hang out for more time. And I haven't really figured out why it is, but for some reason our longer episodes do a lot more. That's why I always have like two parts to a podcast. It's usually my co-host and I hanging out and talking about the news of the day, and then the second part is an interview. And I found that the ones without it, like if it's just one or the other, they do worse.
That's good advice.
I mean, Joe Rogan does it for like 3 hours, bro. So like, there's got to be something to it.
Yeah. It's like
I am shocked though. There's this one podcast. I think it's called. It's in very much in like the business world, so you're probably aware of it. But it's Acquired. Those episodes are like 4 hours long, and it's like one of the top 20 podcasts in the world. I was like, who listens to this for 4 hours? It's crazy.
I'm still figuring out what people want from podcasts. Some people, I think they want to just have someone hanging out in their room while they're doing other stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of it. Some people, some things are like for like to be informational, like they learn the news of the day, they keep up with the times, and then some things are just like they want to like, it's like being at a restaurant or something, and there's like it's like working at at a cafe or something, and you have like chatter around you, and there's like life and
ambient noise.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah,
my voice can provide is just some ambient noise. It doesn't even matter what I'm saying, really.
Some company.
Yeah.
So wait, how long has your whole timeline been from you posting that first review on your Carrie Bradshaw page to now?
I can't remember I guess that must have been 2021, maybe.
Okay.
Because we were in, maybe it was 2020, because we were in, maybe that's why we were eating outside. It was either 2020 or 2021. But then I started writing for Emily October of 2024, so last year.
So you've had a little bit of time to start to get acclimated to like people responding to your work.
I only had like 800 followers until a year ago, basically. It was just from my friends. It wasn't like I wasn't doing it as like
that's crazy,
trying to be like a media person or whatever. It was just like my own personal like food diary or whatever.
Well, but with that, I'm assuming comes like a lot more like feedback, right? Like people are like, oh, this is, and they're not your friends, so they don't have to like sugarcoat anything. How has that been for you?
I mean, it's been funny, especially when I was like, until I had the podcast, basically I was anonymous, but some people really didn't know. A lot of people, because my Instagram name was Carrie Bradshaw, a lot of people thought that I was a woman.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so funny to have the voice be so detached from like, because before I was just writing for my friends, so they all like knew me, so they got to like see my face and imagine me writing the thing, and they knew what it was. It's funny to have it be like detached from your actual identity. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know, just having people that writing for like an audience of people that you don't know is like I don't know. I like to imagine that they're my friends. When I write, I'm still in the same way.
Do you have trolls?
Surprisingly not. I like would think that.
Wow.
Yeah, I would think that I would. Whenever I do a story for Interview magazine, the comments are like fucking frying me. They're cooking me. They're always everyone in the comments are like the Hillstone piece. Everyone in the comments was like they were going nuts. They were so mad at me.
So what was like an example?
Oh, something that was funny was they were calling me. Everyone, this is the one comment that I always get is people are calling me like it's like some kind of like class criticism or something. Like they're saying that I'm like being like classist for like reviewing like a fancy restaurant or something, and I'm like, and I don't really you don't know my background, and also like I think that me being critical they think that it's like bourgeois or whatever to be saying that it's a waste of money to eat at one of these restaurants when I think that I'm kind of maybe doing a service to tell people not to spend their hard earned money on something that would be like not really worth their time and or whatever. But that's something that I get a lot of people always
It seems,
like, yeah, being like, this is like the most like bougie, like spoiled like opinion or something. And I do have a voice that leans into that a little bit sometimes.
Hey, you could be called a lot worse though, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I just remember like the first times I started getting some negative comments about like, things you're putting out there. And it's hard. It can be hard if you make it feel like it's directed at you. Does it help to like feel like it's directed at Carrie Bradshaw or this persona Jay Lee that's not Jason? And now that you are Jason on the podcast, like you've fully come out as Jason, have the stakes changed?
Figuring out like it's funny with all of these like Bill Addison coming out. Yeah, everyone's really grappling with their identities, and it's such a silly thing because we're all just writing about like if we like a burger or not. we're like trying to be like Batman, like trying to be secretive. I don't know, but it is so fun to write without consequence. It is so fun to write behind a mask, and that's something that I've been. I didn't realize everyone's watching a podcast. Like everyone now watches a podcast. Like I was like,
right.
I thought I don't know. I wish that it could have just been like I'm just my voice like through like a vocoder even or something, but no, everybody, I guess you're selling yourself all the time.
We're still audio only, so we haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, that's lucky.
It's the dream. It's the dream. Hide your face. It's I don't know, man. It feels like podcasting is still. I've never watched a podcast, and I don't think I ever will. But I think that's just because.
How old are you?
I'm 34, so that's probably why.
Okay, I'm 36. Yeah, I'm like I think younger people are watching them.
Yeah, younger. But that's weird, dude. It's like, don't you have better things to do with your life than sit around and watch two people talking?
I know, like watch a movie. Like the cool thing about a podcast is you can listen to it while you're on the train or when you're like at the library or whatever. Like you can listen to it
folding
anywhere.
Laundry.
Yeah.
Like doing other shit basically.
I think that everyone's on their computer. I guess they're on their phone, and they have probably like I don't know. I'm sounding old, but I feel like they probably have their TikTok open.
Yeah,
they have their Steam account or something. I don't know. I think they're just multitasking.
Wait, so I kind of want to close on hearing your thoughts about Los Angeles. I've not really heard you talk about LA ever. Have you been here?
Yeah, I haven't been. I think I haven't been in like 8 years. Last time I went was like Prime Squirrel. Prime, it was like original Baru.
Oh yeah,
first iteration of Baru time. That was a last.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it was great. I was pretty rocked by it. I mean, I've been a bunch of times, but that was a great time. I loved Squirrel and I loved Baru, and I was like, they didn't have stuff like this in New York, and maybe they still don't. But
maybe not exactly like it.
I don't like. I'm from Chicago. And I remember it was always like I'm like, why is LA like the second best city in America? It's like Chicago. Because I'm like, LA to me shouldn't count as a city. It's like, I mean, it's too big. It's not fair that you get to include all of these, like, I don't really even understand the whole geography of LA, but it seems unfair to me that you get to include somewhere that like, you have to drive like 2 hours to get to. It's like New York, like you can like take the train for 1 hour and get anywhere, like literally anywhere. Like you can't do that in LA. It's like a bunch of different little villages. But I am jealous constantly of the food situation there, like the what's it called, the San Gabriel Valley. Is that considered LA or not?
It is, which is funny too, because like
That's far away.
it's so far away. Like you mentioned the fact that it's like two. Like honestly, on the Bill Addison just dropped his list of the 101 best restaurants in Los Angeles, and he includes places in like Orange County in there, right? And that's like 2 hours away. And I was just thinking, like, I grew up in Switzerland, and 2 hours away is fucking Italy. You know what I mean? Like you're not doing a list of like, you know, the 100 best restaurants in Zurich and including places in Milan.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's a very different proposition we have here.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know. It's always seemed unfair to me, and also, I mean, the bigger issue is that I'm a really bad driver. I know how to drive technically, but I'm not good at it. So that's mostly where most of my scoring comes from. And also just being like, New York is better than LA is just like a fun rivalry, you know, type of thing. But
how actively do you guys think about that? Like in LA, we do talk about New York a lot and we compare ourselves. Yeah. Is that just because we have little brother syndrome, or are you doing the same in New York?
I mean, there's a lot of like, I have a lot of friends from LA, or people are always traveling back and forth. So there's talk of that. And everyone's always asking me about restaurants and stuff. And I keep up with like some of the LA restaurant, whatever's going on in LA a little bit, but not that I can taste it. But there's not, we talk about LA, but I think you guys talk about us more.
Yeah,
maybe.
Probably.
Everyone talks about New York more.
It's true. It's you guys are New York. You say you keep an eye on LA. Is there anything that you've seen happen here that you're interested in checking out next time you're around?
I mean, I want to check out the new Baru. I'm like, how'd they were on the best, they were like best new restaurant 2024.
Yeah, they won restaurant of the year in 2024 in LA Times. Yeah.
I was like, you were the best new restaurant when I visited like a decade ago. Like, how are you the best new restaurant? But I've heard that it's amazing, and I loved the original iteration. I also like, I want some Persian food. Like everyone's always posting the mini kebab all the time, and it looks amazing.
It's right by my house.
Yeah, I want to go. So, and what's it called? Baby Bistro. I'm so curious about Baby Bistro. A friend of mine whose taste I trust told me that Cafe 2001 is the best restaurant in America.
Wow.
But I've discussed this with everyone from LA, and they're like, that's crazy. But I don't know.
That's insane.
I'd really like to try that. And the place is called Yes? Is that what it's called?
Yes. YESS. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I want to check out that thing. I would like to do that.
That's a good wish list.
Yeah. And then plus all the Vietnamese, and I don't know, there's some like Ban Xiao specialty places that look amazing and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, you've made your wishes clear. When you come to Los Angeles, I'll do the driving and we'll take you all around.
Oh, I'm going to take you up on that.
Yeah, the Cafe 2001 take is absolutely insane. I respect it. That's how insane it is.
Emily Wilson, who did the Angel. Do you know Emily?
I used to read the Angel religiously before she moved.
I asked her about the Cafe 2001 thing, and she's like, I don't love Cafe 2001, but you would love Cafe 2001. And I was like, it seems like a dig. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it.
That seems like an insult. Yeah, it seems like she holds a low opinion of you.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
That's funny. I actually, in full transparency, haven't been, but just based on what I've heard, I do think it sounds super interesting. It's, the American bistro seems to like really be popping off here. And by American bistro, I mean that in like the loosest sense of the term, where like you have a bunch of different influences inflecting everything, right? And I feel like Cafe 2001 falls into that with some like slightly Eastern European influences. I hear that's happening in New York too, this like American bistro revival.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, for lack of a better word, the thing that interests me about Cafe 2001 is the aspect of lunch. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no lunch. America doesn't have a good lunch culture.
No, sad desk lunch. Sweet green is our lunch culture.
Yeah. I want a bottle of wine and like a 3-hour lunch, So that's what's exciting to me about Cafe 2001.
What'd you do for lunch today?
It's not great. I like this. It's just like this shitty New York Chinese place that's by my house. I like it though, but they have. I got a beef with green beans.
Hey, at least you went out, bro. I think I'm gonna do PB&J at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy in New York. It's like 2 blocks from my house. I was like slightly hungover. I needed like something. I needed some gravy, I think.
Is gravy your hangover cure?
Not really. I don't know why I woke up and I was thinking about it. I saw a picture online or something.
Yeah, that's how they get you. It's the online pictures.
Yeah.
Last question for you, Jason. Where do you see like expense account going? Like keep on getting some good guests, or do you have like, you thinking Netflix show? You thinking, what are you thinking?
I mean, I was figuring that out. I would like to, I've been focusing a lot on the podcast lately, and I would like to remind people that I'm actually a writer, or that I would like to be considered a writer. So I need to focus a little bit more on writing again. Maybe I'll write a book or something like that. But with Expense Account, the podcast, I don't know. I'm happy with the way it's going. I want it to. I guess now that everyone's like watching podcasts, I'm like, I might as well make that kind of production, focus on the visuals of it, and the more make it more of a show,
Right.
or something.
Yeah.
I don't really have any real plans in that way, but I'm a lot of people that I meet watch the podcast, which surprises me. But I guess I would like to lean into that a little bit more. If they're going to watch it, it might as well be the show or something.
Give them something to watch.
So that's something.
Yeah, totally. I heard.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep listening. I can't promising that I will be watching because I'm too old to do that, as we've established. But I will keep listening, and I encourage all our listeners to do the same. We're going to put everything in the show notes. Jason, congrats, man! Really enjoy what you're doing, and thanks for joining our show.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the LA Food Podcast. Thanks to our guests for making the time for us. As always, we'll be back with another epic episode next week. But if you're looking for me in the meantime, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Thread, YouTube, even our website at the LA Countdown. You can also find us on Instagram at It's Acquired Taste and at acquiredtastemedia.com. If you like what you heard here today, dear listener, please consider going to wherever you listen to podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating or review, even a follow. That really helps us. It means the world to us. Thank you so much in advance.